A woman I had never seen before walked up to me at my mother's funeral and handed me an envelope. Inside was a DNA test, a letter in my mother's handwriting, and a birth certificate from 1989. My brother was standing right next to me. He didn't look surprised at all.
This is the story of a daughter who gave up 14 years of her life to care for her dying mother. It is the story of a brother who lived 2,000 miles away and barely visited. And it is the story of a secret that was kept for 36 years, and the man who turned it into a weapon. This is After the Will. The Prescotts lived in a small craftsman house in Portland, Oregon. Frank was a high school physics teacher. Margaret was a school librarian. They had 2 children, Marcus in 1981, Hannah in 1987. Frank died of a heart attack in 2010. Margaret was diagnosed with Parkinson's the following year. Hannah was 24 years old. She had just finished her nursing degree and accepted an ICU position at Providence Hospital. She turned it down. She moved back into her mother's house the week after the diagnosis. She told herself it would be temporary.
I thought I would do it for a year, maybe 2, just until we figured out what Parkinson's actually meant. I didn't know what I was signing up for. Nobody does. You don't sign up for it. You just keep waking up the next morning, and the person you love still needs you, so you stay.
I was already in Seattle when Mom got sick. I had a job at a software company, 2 kids, a mortgage. Hannah was single, no kids, just out of school. The math made sense to everyone. She would stay, I would send money. That was the deal we made. She agreed to it.
Marcus sent $400 a month. He visited at Christmas. He visited on Mother's Day. He called every Sunday for 10 minutes. Hannah did everything else. The doctor visits, the medications, the bathing, the cooking, the nights when Margaret screamed because she'd forgotten where she was.
There was a routine. 6 in the morning, sponge bath, 7, medication, 8, breakfast, if she could swallow that day. Then physical therapy, then a nap. Then I would do the laundry while she slept. 14 years of the same routine. I stopped being someone with a life. I became a schedule.
By 2018, Margaret's Parkinson's had been joined by Alzheimer's. She started forgetting Hannah's name. Sometimes she called her Linda after her own sister. Sometimes she didn't recognize her at all. Hannah kept a notebook of every time her mother forgot her name. She stopped counting at 63.
People act like I disappeared. I called every Sunday for 14 years. Do the math. That's 728 phone calls. I came home for every birthday. I sent every check on the 1st of the month. Hannah wanted to be a martyr. That's not the same thing as me being a villain.
In 2019, Marcus sent his saliva to a popular ancestry website. He was curious about his European heritage. 2 weeks later, the website notified him that he had a 50% maternal match with a woman named Claire Bennett, born in Seattle in 1989. He read it twice. He read it again. A 50% maternal match meant only one thing.
I drove down to Portland that weekend. I sat in Mom's kitchen. I put the printout on the table. She didn't even pretend to be confused. She just said, "I knew this would happen one day." Like she'd been waiting for it. Like she was almost relieved.
Margaret told Marcus the story she had never told anyone. She was 19 years old in 1989. The father was a graduate student at the University of Washington. He was already engaged to someone else. Margaret was a sophomore. She had the baby in Seattle, signed the closed adoption papers, and moved to Portland the next year. She married Frank in 1980. She never told him, not in 45 years of marriage.
Mom begged me not to tell Hannah. She said it would destroy her. She said Hannah had given up everything to take care of her, and she couldn't bear for Hannah to find out she'd been lying for 40 years. She made me promise. I promised. That promise is what people are trying to crucify me for now.
Marcus did not tell Hannah. He did not tell his wife. He did one other thing instead. He drove back to Seattle, opened his laptop, and searched for Claire Bennett. It took him about 20 minutes to find her.
I had no idea any of this was happening. In 2019, all I knew was that Marcus visited for Mother's Day and seemed quieter than usual. He held Mom's hand for a long time at the kitchen table. I thought it was sweet. I thought he was finally understanding what she was going through.
By the end of 2019, Marcus had made contact with Claire Bennett. By early 2020, they were exchanging emails. By the summer of 2020, Marcus had a plan. And Hannah, in Portland, was bathing her mother and counting the medications and waiting for her brother's Sunday phone call.
There were two trusts. Hannah was the executor of the first one. The second one had a different name on it, and it had been emptied 3 weeks before Margaret died. Hannah did not know the second trust existed until I told her. Nobody did. That was the entire point.
Marcus did not give the money to Claire when he found her. He did something stranger. He told Claire that their mother wanted to make things right, but couldn't bring herself to face it directly. He told her there was a financial arrangement being put in place. He told her to be patient. He told her not to contact Margaret. Not yet.
Mom wasn't capable of having that conversation in person. She would have collapsed. I was managing it for her. I told Claire what Mom would have wanted to say, that she was sorry, that she had thought about her every birthday for 30 years. I gave Claire what Mom couldn't.
In the spring of 2020, Marcus drove to Portland and asked Margaret to sign a document. He told her it was a small private trust separate from her main estate intended specifically for Claire. He told her it was the only way to make things right without telling Hannah and breaking her heart. When Margaret signed it, her hand was already shaking from the Parkinson's.
The secondary trust was real. The signature was real. But the beneficiary line did not say Claire Bennett. It said Marcus Prescott, sole beneficiary, with the words, "in trust for the benefit of M. Prescott family." That kind of language gives the beneficiary complete discretion over distribution. It is a phrase used by lawyers for one reason: to make sure no one else has standing to ask questions.
I didn't know any of this. I didn't know there was a secondary trust. I didn't know there was a Claire. I didn't know my mother had been keeping a secret for 36 years. I was changing her sheets and crushing her pills into applesauce because she lost the ability to swallow. That was my 2020.
2020 and 2025, Margaret's secondary trust accumulated $190,000. Most of it came from quarterly transfers Marcus arranged from Margaret's main savings account, which Hannah believed was being spent on long-term care insurance. The transfers were small enough to look routine. They were never large enough to trigger Hannah's attention.
That money was for Claire. It was always for Claire. I was holding it in my name because the alternative was telling Hannah, and Mum said no. I wasn't stealing, I was protecting Mum's wishes. There is a difference, there is a real difference.
I have practiced estate law for 22 years. When a beneficiary tells me they were holding money in trust for someone else, I check whether that someone else ever received a single dollar. In this case, the answer was no. Claire Bennett did not receive any portion of that $190,000. Not in 2020, not in 2024, not ever.
In late September of 2025, Margaret's health deteriorated rapidly. She stopped speaking, she stopped eating solid food. Hannah called Marcus, he flew down for a weekend, sat by Margaret's bed for 2 hours, and flew back to Seattle. 3 days after that visit, Marcus made 3 withdrawals from the secondary trust. The first was $60,000, the second was $60,000, the third was $70,000. The trust was empty by October 4th.
October 4th was the last day Mom was awake. I held her hand for 6 hours. She squeezed it once. I told her I loved her. She nodded. She had no idea what was being moved out of her name in another state. Her own son was emptying her secret while she was using the last of her strength to nod at me.
Margaret Prescott died 8 days later, October 12th, 2025. Hannah found her at 6:14 in the morning. The house was quiet. The first phone call Hannah made was to Marcus. He told her he would handle the funeral arrangements. He told her she had done enough. He told her to rest.
The morning Mom died, I called Claire. Before I called the funeral home, before I called the family, I told her the moment had come. I told her Mom would have wanted her at the service. I told her where the church was. I told her to bring the DNA results in case anyone questioned her right to be there.
Hannah spent the next 6 days planning her mother's funeral. Marcus said he would handle the estate and asked Hannah for the contact information of Margaret's attorney. Hannah, exhausted and grateful for any help, gave him Dr. Lena Foss's number. That phone call would turn out to be the only mistake Marcus made.
Marcus called my office the Wednesday before the funeral. He requested copies of every document in Margaret's estate file. He said he was the executor. He was not the executor. He was not even named in Margaret's primary trust. I told him I could only release documents to the executor of record, who was Hannah. He hung up. I logged the call. That log later became evidence.
The funeral was scheduled for Saturday, October 18th at 10 in the morning, St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Northwest Portland. Hannah chose the readings. Hannah chose the music. Hannah wrote the eulogy. Marcus arrived the night before. He asked Hannah if there was anything he could do. She said no. She had handled it. She had handled everything for 14 years. The UK Kidder podcast asked for more. So the next morning, Hannah Prescott would walk into St. Andrew's Episcopal Church and discover that the woman crying in the third row was the older sister she had never known existed. And the brother standing next to her had known for 6 years. He had been planning this funeral for longer than anyone knew. The church was 3/4 full. Old colleagues from the school district, 2 cousins from Eugene, a handful of neighbors from Maple Drive. Hannah sat in the front pew. Marcus sat next to her. The service began at 10:05.
I noticed her during the second hymn, third row from the back, on the left side. A woman in her 30s, alone, crying harder than anyone else in the room. I thought she was a former student of Mom's. I thought she'd had a librarian who changed her life. I almost smiled at her after the service.
Hannah's eulogy lasted 7 minutes. She talked about the routine, the mornings, the garden Margaret had loved before her hands stopped working. She talked about how her mother had been afraid of being a burden. She talked about how Margaret had whispered near the end, "I hope I was a good mother." Hannah told the church that she had been.
After the service, people came up to me one by one, hugged me, told me how strong I was, how proud Mom would have been. I was holding it together. I was nodding. I was thanking everyone. And then the woman from the third row was suddenly standing in front of me, holding a manila envelope. Her hands were shaking.
Her name was Claire Bennett. She was 36 years old. She told Hannah very softly, "I think I was your mother's daughter. I'm so sorry to do this here." Marcus said this was the right way. Hannah looked at her. Then Hannah looked at Marcus. Marcus did not look surprised. Marcus looked tired.
I opened the envelope right there in the church courtyard. Inside was a DNA report from one of those ancestry sites, 50% maternal match. Inside was a birth certificate from Seattle, 1989. Inside was a letter in my mother's handwriting that said, "If you're reading this, I'm sorry I was a coward." I have read that letter probably 300 times since.
I was going to tell you, it kept getting worse. Mum kept saying, "Not yet," and then she was gone. And I was the only person who knew, and Claire deserved to be there. She deserved to say goodbye. I am sorry it happened like this. I am sorry I waited.
I asked him how long he had known. He said 6 years. 6 years. He had known for 6 years. I had given my mother sponge baths every morning for 6 years, and my brother had known there was another daughter the entire time. I did not yell, I did not cry, I just walked to my car and drove home.
Hannah did not sleep that night. At 6 in the morning, she called Dr. Lena Foss and asked for an emergency appointment. By 8, she was sitting in Foss's office with the manila envelope on the desk between them. By 9, Foss had pulled the full file on Margaret Prescott's estate. By 9:15, she had found the secondary trust.
I told Hannah that the secondary trust existed. I told her that $190,000 had moved through it. I told her the beneficiary was Marcus, not Claire. I watched Hannah read the withdrawal dates. She put her finger on the September 30th withdrawal and said Mom was nodding at me that day. I had never seen anyone go quiet that fast.
The secret was real. Claire was real. The pain Mom had carried was real. None of that was Marcus's lie. But the money was. The money was the part Marcus made up. He used a real secret to hide a fake trust. He used my mother's shame as a curtain.
The withdrawals had explanations. I was going to set Claire up with a down payment on a house. I was going to put part of it into a college fund for her future kids. I was going to give her a real start. I just hadn't done it yet. The timing looks bad. I know how it looks. But I had a plan.
We asked Claire Bennett directly. We met her at a coffee shop on Division Street 3 days after the funeral. Hannah went with me. Claire told us that she had never received a single dollar from Marcus. She told us that Marcus had called the trust paperwork in process for almost 5 years. She started crying when she heard the dollar amount. $190,000. She had no idea.
Claire was not what I expected. She wasn't here to take anything. She wasn't here to fight. She had spent her whole life imagining a mother she couldn't meet, and Marcus had given her a fake version of that. We sat across from each other holding the same coffee cups Mom used to like, and I realized we were both his victims.
Hannah and Claire made a decision at that coffee shop. They would not fight each other. They would not contest the inheritance against each other. They would file a joint legal action against Marcus. Two sisters who had only just met walking into the same lawyer's office the next morning.
The legal action took 9 months. The charges were fraud, undue influence, and conversion of trust assets. The discovery process pulled 5 years of bank records, 3 years of email correspondence between Marcus and Claire, and the original signing video from the 2020 Trust Amendment. In that video, Marcus is the one holding the pen steady for Margaret's hand.
Marcus settled before the trial reached its 3rd week. He returned $165,000 of the $190,000 he had withdrawn. He paid $40,000 in legal fees on his own side. He lost his executor status. He was permanently barred from any further claim on Margaret's estate.
I settled because the trial was destroying my marriage. I settled because my kids were starting to ask why their dad's name was in the news. I did not settle because I am guilty. I am not a thief. I made decisions that looked bad on paper. There is a difference. There is a difference, and nobody wants to hear it.
The final estate division was simple. Hannah kept the Craftsman house in Portland, valued at $540,000. The remaining $180,000 in Margaret's primary savings, plus the recovered $165,000 from the secondary trust, was split between Hannah and Claire. Each received about $170,000 in cash.
Claire flies down to Portland twice a year now. She stays in my guest room. We cook Mom's recipes together. She is learning the songs Mom used to hum in the kitchen. She has Mom's hands, the same long fingers, the same way of folding them when she's listening. I lost a mother. I gained a sister. I am not sure which one of us is more grateful.
Marcus has not spoken to Hannah since the settlement. He did not come to the small memorial Hannah and Claire held on the 1st anniversary of Margaret's death. He sent flowers, white lilies, Margaret's favorite. Hannah gave them to a stranger in the church parking lot.
People ask me if I forgive Marcus. I don't have an answer for that yet. The truth is, the secret didn't break us. The secret would have hurt, but it would have healed. What broke us was that he used the secret. He took the most painful thing in our family and turned it into a tool. I don't know how you forgive that.
Margaret Prescott's secret was 36 years old when it walked into a Portland church on a rainy Saturday morning. She had been afraid of it her entire adult life. She had never imagined that what she should have been afraid of was the son she trusted to carry it.
I have handled estate cases for 22 years. Most family fights are about money. This one was not. This one was about a secret that should have been a moment of grief, not a trial exhibit. Margaret Prescott had a daughter she gave up at 19, and she carried that for 36 years. Claire deserved to know. Hannah deserved to know. Both of those things are true. Marcus did not reveal the secret out of compassion. He revealed it the morning his mother died. on the day of the funeral, in front of the daughter who had spent 14 years emptying bedpans. He timed it. He wrapped a real story around a fake trust. He used his sister's grief and his half-sister's hope as cover for $190,000. Was the betrayal the secret? Or the way Marcus used it? Could you have forgiven him if no money had moved? Tell me what you think. Tell me in the comments.
Next week on After the Will, a daughter found her mother's diary 3 months after the funeral. Inside, written in pencil, was the name of a brother she had been hiding from her own children for 40 years. The funeral was over. The fight was just beginning.